All right, we are good to go.
Thanks so much. Welcome, everybody. My name is Chris Hartley. I'm happy to have you all here to explore Figma a little bit today in this pizza-related activity during the lunch hour. If you're just joining us here, if you don't have a Figma account created already, go ahead and do that, and we'll be jumping into the file a little bit later on. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be working through today. I have a few slides to explore Figma a little bit, and then we'll get right into it. And after the initial activity, we'll have the opportunity to use what we've created to get to know each other a little bit in the breakout rooms. And if there's time at the end, happy to walk you through how the pizza is made and answer any questions that you might have. So as an introduction, I'm Chris Hartley. I'm currently based here in Indianapolis, right around the state fairgrounds, if you ever attend that during the summertime. I'm currently a UX designer at SEP. Prior to that, I co-owned and led design at a small specialized agency working with accounting firms. And I've been at SEP for almost a year now. I'm also a photographer. I have a freelance business doing primarily headshots and brand photography. And especially during this last year, I've taken a whole lot of pictures of our new puppy, Peter, who is a mini golden doodle. But let's talk about Figma here. I am going to start a poll, and if you all could answer just on your familiarity with Figma, just so I can understand where everybody is at and tailor to that. All right, so it looks like we're split pretty well across the board. And that is great. Let me stop the poll here, and I will jump back to the screen share. There it is. All right, so for just as a quick overview, just to help set that baseline, Figma is a cloud-based design tool for the, excuse me, it's become a rival or counterpart here lately to Sketch. But if you've not used either of them, they are very easy to pick up if you're at all familiar with any of the Adobe suite or any other design software. But largely, Figma was created to be an accessible tool for designers to traditionally create screens of all sorts, whether we're talking desktops or mobile screens, or even has a pretty robust prototyping feature now. But Figma is actually pretty flexible in what we can accomplish. In fact, I'm actually presenting directly from Figma, and I created the entire presentation in it. One of the super special things about Figma is the community that's built around it. So not only are we talking designer advocates to help people level up their skills, but in a way to, if you hop on the Figma community, you can duplicate and dissect a number of different files that people have published to help share information and really level up the entire design community. Within that community, they also have hundreds and hundreds of plugins that help you to do almost any task you can imagine. These are a couple of the plugins I use almost every day. And if you're really wanting to have a deeper understanding of Figma and really get invested into the community, there's this group called Friends of Figma. It's a Slack group as well as they host various events, but it's a great community to be a part of. So as we explore Figma a little bit, I wanted to walk you through a few of the ways that a few of the tools that I use to create this activity here. The first being an auto layout, which is simply a tool that uses frames to adjust the frame size based on the content within. So it's a great tool for buttons or inputs, or if you're making a context menu like we are here. If you're familiar with components in Sketch, it's a similar approach. It actually houses the main components in one area of your file, at which point you can create instances throughout your entire file and only have to update the one if you need to make a change. And what they recently released are what's called variants, which are a grouping of similar components that allows you to more quickly switch between those instances in your file. And now in beta are the interactive components. So this is this allows you to create a single source of interaction and animations within your variant, and you can drop that throughout your file. Right now, I've set this to auto animate, but it's an awesome tool to use if you have switches. Just as an example, out in your file, it's one component that you can drop in an endless amount of places here. Another example that's pretty useful is a progress bar here. Again, you can just create one of those and drop this interaction or drop this component with the interaction throughout your file, and it really is a nice way to spice up your prototypes. I would encourage you all to always try to bend the tools to allow you to create your vision as a reality. And what I really mean by that is that there probably isn't a tool that can do every single thing that you need it to do, but if you can find ways to manipulate, to explore and really drive that creativity, I think you'll be surprised with what you can accomplish. And as a couple quick examples here, this illustration done by Martin Beckerman here was done entirely in Figma. It's all vectors, and he published this to the community so people can explore it. People can, learn how to do illustrations like this. And here's another example of his with Childish Gambino. This particular Figma user created the characters from Soul as vectors. So again, it's all scalable. It's all individually created completely in Figma. If you wanted to dive deeper into components and variants, Joey here created these 4 Mario characters as different components and variants, so you can actually swap out different facial elements as a fun trick here. You can also do all kinds of illustrations, and you can find a number of things on that community, like these Animal Crossing icons from Ashley. I recently used Figma as a tool for creating our bathroom remodel plan. I wanted to see in particular how this light fixture would look with the other items we had chosen. So I created this in Figma and eventually make components and use their instances to create this light fixture. There's also a ton of games that are on the community, games and activities, whether you're looking at escape room right here, or there's various, I think I've seen Battleship as well, that can be really cool activities to help facilitate a fun team time as your team is all virtual. And now let's get ready to dive into the pizza activity here. Before I do that, I did want to launch this other quick poll here. So I have a series of toppings created here, but I wanted to show you real time how quickly we can add to this file in this variant and create an additional pizza topping. So we'll give everybody just a minute to fill that out, and then we will jump over to the file. All right, so it looks like bacon is the winner, which is a good choice in my book here. So let's go ahead and close the poll, and we'll jump into the file over here. And so what I've done here is I've jumped over to my components page, and I'm going to, with the help of a couple plugins and quick illustrations here, we're going to add little bacon bits to our list of toppings here. And let me just create these small, and we can, just for simplicity's sake, we'll make them a pretty rounded rectangle right here. And if we want to adjust them, we can with a couple of slight tweaks. And bacon isn't usually gray, and if it is, I think I have some questions. So let's go ahead and add a fill to these. Let's start with the brown pizza sauce, or the brown pizza color here. We'll change those quickly enough to be something like that, and we'll add some color to the top of it, just to give it a little bit of dimension here in it. And all right, so let's go ahead and, so you can see a little texture there. I'm going to select these items, run this really cool plugin called Confetti. And we're going to randomize, we're not going to randomize the opacity, but we'll randomize the size and the rotation. So let's run it and see how it does. Cool, so it gave us, well, hold on a second, let me not get too far ahead of myself. In this instance, it would probably be helpful to actually pull these outside of our frame that we're going to use as the pizza topping and create components out of these so that if we ever wanted to run back and change them, we can. So let's go ahead and call this bacon, and we'll have it just by number starting at 1, combine those as variants, and now you can see over here on the right-hand panel that we have all of those as a variant, and we can drop them into our frame, hold Alt to duplicate, and then we can quickly swap through here and add all of our different variations here. Let's go ahead and select these items again, run that confetti plugin, and we'll turn off the opacity again. Let's bump up the rows and columns to 5. All right, so we can see now that we have some bacon throughout, and what we can do is, in this case, just pull these off of the edge because we don't want them to fall off the pizza. And pull that one off. Cool, so now we have an example for a rectangle pizza, which in the activity there are both circles and rectangles depending on how you like your pizzas. So we will copy this, paste it to what will become our circular pizza. And let's go ahead and adjust the corner radius here to give us the appearance of a circle so we know which ones to remove. Let's turn off clipping content so I can see what's still around here that needs to be brought inside. All right, so let's go ahead and turn off the border to this, turn off the border to the circle one, and what we can do now are create multiple components here, which we will now rename as toppings bacon, combine those as variants, and then what we'll actually do, we don't actually need to create a new property, but let's rename this one to say pizza shape. And what we can do is name one as a square, this one as a circle. And then what we can do is actually copy these instances over to our activity area and drop them onto this custom toppings area, which we will rename as bacon. And we only need the circle one on this page. So let's drag that out of the way for just a second. Let's drag this label over here to rename this so everybody knows it's bacon. And then, let's go ahead and get rid of this square option here because I can quickly drag and duplicate down to our square area over here and change that variant to be a square. So that's a quick rundown of how you can, if you're in an activity with your team and it's in Figma, using these different variants and tools can really help you quickly make changes on the fly. But let's jump back into the presentation here. So as on this screen, there will be instructions on how to create your pizza, but a couple of rules of the kitchen. I would ask that you duplicate your ingredients. Don't drag them off the frame, and you can either do that by holding Alt and click, or you can simply copy and paste them into your pizza. After that, I will go ahead and take your pizza and create a copy of this profile card, and drag it off to the right by where there are a few cards currently. There are instructions that you can fill out your details and answer a few questions that will then serve as kind of the icebreakers or the general topics for the breakout rooms. So without further ado here, let's skip that for just a second and go ahead and go to this hyperlink in Figma. Capitalization is important to be able to access it, and go ahead and get started, and we will set a, let me actually,
yeah, I was going to ask, could you put that in the chat? That would be helpful.
Yep. Yeah, IDW, there it is. And then if you jump over to the activity, and feel free to get started, and we'll start a timer for about 15 minutes or so, and then we will come back together. And if there's any questions or issues, let me know. Let's choose this one. And I created a couple of blank ones there, if that's easier for everybody. There's about 2 minutes left. Does anybody need more time or have any questions yet? All right, see you in 2 minutes. All right, time is up for that part. Does anybody need any more time? All good, cool. So this next part, we will split into breakout groups, which I have set up here. And it's really meant just as a, since we are still in a virtual conference, just a way to meet some people. And if you want to use this profile card that you just made, that's great as an icebreaker. I've also included some additional potential topics if they would be helpful. This part of the workshop will only be about 10 to 12 minutes. And I will get those breakout rooms going if there's no other questions. All right. It will auto assign you and you can still come back to the main room, I think, whenever you would like to. So here we go.
Hello. Small breakouts. Oh, there we go. We're getting more people. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first indie design week.
Oh, very nice. Well, it's only been around for like 3 years, 4 years maybe. So not too long.
Okay, that's good.
Where in India are you located?
So I'm actually in Muncie while I work remote because I just graduated college last May.
Oh, congratulations.
Um, Thank you. So I got my job and I haven't moved yet,
Gotcha.
but I work at SAP in the Carmel Westfield area.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, do you know Poppy and I guess Chris also works
Yep.
at SCP, right? So, oh, okay,
Hmm.
nice. Very cool.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, I am, yeah, I'm in Indy in the Broad Ripple area. It's called Sobro, technically. It's like just south of Broad Ripple.
Mhm.
I think it sounds so
I
like
think I've heard
fresh,
that.
like
Yeah.
Sobro, you know.
Yeah.
And hey, sorry, I'm probably gonna mispronounce your name. Um, Heyman? Can you hear us okay? Oh, awesome.
Oh.
Well, pizza related. Favorite pizza topping? Oh, no worries, no worries. Feel free to drop, messages in the chat. That works too. Uh, so pizza topping, weirdest thing you've ever put on pizza, worst pizza topping ever. Well, my favorite, we always get the like banana pepper pepperoni from Hotbox, which
Mhm.
is like a, I think it's Indianapolis um, chain, but that's really fun. Weirdest thing I had, shoot, what was it? I think it was, yeah, it was like pineapple, which probably isn't that weird. But it was like, I thought it was kind of weird at the time. And
Could be much worse.
yeah, yeah, really. Uh, I have had like taco pizza before, and I think that's pretty good. Um, and then worst pizza topping, I I really don't like black olives. Anchovies are worse though, I gotta say, personally, my personal preference. What about you guys?
Yeah. I would say favorite pizza topping. Oh gosh, I am a fan of sausage pizza. Um, it's very yummy.
Mm-hmm,
But like
mm-hmm.
you also can't go wrong with like chicken barbecue pizza, which is also delicious. In the realm of weird things I've put on a pizza, I don't know if I've ever done anything too crazy with it. Like I've had pineapples on pizza. I think once I had like a loaded baked potato pizza
Oh,
that was surprisingly good. I was okay with that.
I was gonna say that
Like,
actually doesn't sound too bad.
yeah, like it was a good thing. And then worst pizza topping, I'll have to agree with the anchovies. Anchovies are weird.
I'll confess, like, it's weird, but I've never actually had it. I've like seen it and
Yeah,
smelled it, and I'm like, I don't want that, but I've never actually had it. So
yeah, I've never had anchovies on pizza, but I can't do it.
I know, right? I can't bring myself to pay money for that.
Because like they're not just fish, they're super fishy fish.
Yeah, extra fishy.
So they're very strong.
Heyman, what about you? Oh, here we go. How does
Ooh,
this thing on?
sweet potato. That actually sounds good.
That does sound pretty good. Well, we're all fish haters on pizza, at least.
Specifically anchovies.
Yes, yes, anchovies. Although I don't know,
Sure.
like if, I guess like a salmon pizza, like a fancy salmon pizza, I could see something like that. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
can
maybe.
see maybe shrimp.
Shrimp? Okay, yeah.
Like if you did like barbecue shrimp or something,
Mm,
get like some tropical vibes going, that could be good.
that's not a bad
But
idea.
not
Oh,
anchovies, man.
I just remembered, like, there's this movie theater slash restaurant in Indy called Flicks, and they have like the best chicken bacon ranch pizza I've ever had. So like every time I go there, that's all I get. I've literally never had anything else on that menu.
Hey, that sounds good though.
Yeah. Um, cool. Well, yeah. What are we looking to learn? I guess workshop or what about the sauces on the pizza you like? Oh, that's a good question.
Huh.
Hmm. I typically could go
I feel like
traditional red.
I kind of feel like it depends on the pizza, because like if you're doing barbecue chicken pizza, you gotta go with barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
And then if it's more of a traditional pizza, I would go red sauce. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm flexible on that one.
Totally agree.
Ooh, Alfredo sauce, that is good.
Oh, I mean, I haven't had one with Alfredo sauce in a long time. Now I'm gonna want pizza tonight. It's ridiculous. I saw this workshop and I was like, it's Figma, but like, what's all the pizza
But
stuff?
pizza,
That's so weird. Makes it work. It's perfect.
that's great.
So, anything you
Components
guys are
everywhere.
interested in learning about, both on like Indie Design Week and this workshop, using Figma?
Oh, yeah, for me, it's probably mainly like tips and tricks of Figma, because I've been using it for work, obviously. But yeah, I'm the one on my team who does all the component libraries and like the variants and stuff. And that's, I don't know, to me, it's super fun to mess around with those and learn how to make like reusable and like scalable like Lego blocks for your design.
Yeah,
I don't know, Figma is just a lot of fun.
yeah,
Having a
it's
blast with it.
it's super awesome. Uh, how to use Figma efficiently with many layers and components. Yeah, it sounds kind of similar. The design systems definitely help with the efficiency of it. And like, I assume you're building everything with components, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My team, we've got, for our client anyway, we've got an app going. So we have like tons of screens and layers all over the place. And having so many components helps a lot with it, because we can like iterate quickly. And like even when we're doing basic ideation for the first time, we can do it in almost high fidelity because we have all these bits and pieces we can steal from. So
Yeah.
components, they're
Yeah.
great.
I freaking love design systems. I'll tell you what though, like, so I work for Salesforce and we had our design system in Sketch and a program called Abstract to like help sync everything together.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was like, it was great and like we really got used to it. But like switching over to Figma and having to redo it all because the import just sucks was like a huge pain in the ass. But then like, we were grumbling about it, but as we got into it, like starting to realize these variants and like, oh, you can like animate variants together. Like that's pretty cool. Can't do that in Sketch. Um, it's
Yeah.
just like a lot of awesome stuff. Oh,
Looks like we're
figuring
ending.
thinking back. Uh,
on it.
Cool. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, I ran into some technical difficulties, so I apologize for pulling you out like that. Let's go ahead and I've adjusted the breakout rooms to distribute a little bit more evenly. So let's give it another 5 minutes and I will bring you back at that point.
Hey, completely different people.
Hey.
Well.
Carl, Andy, and I were just in the same group.
Oh, so I'm the new person. Okay.
Every time the video switches, my audio goes back to my laptop speakers instead of my headset.
That's bizarre.
So that's weird.
Huh.
That's super weird.
Okay. Hey, Chris. I met you a year ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say we chatted. Glad to see you're back. How are things?
Yeah. Good. I started at 120 Water in November, working there as a product designer. Very happy.
Awesome. Congratulations, yeah, because I know you're trying to break into it back then, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Cool.
And you're still Salesforce, right?
Yep, still at Salesforce. They haven't given me a reason to leave yet, so. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, now I've got to see.
Oh, go ahead.
I got to see if I can zoom in on. Looks like you've got a board game collection on the shelf behind you.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting background. This top one here, I'm kind of pointing to it. Mysterium. That's one of
Oh
my new
yeah,
favorite ones. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, hello. Just wanted to drop in to make sure everybody was able to converse and didn't run into any issues yet.
Yep.
So far, so good.
Cool.
See ya.
Is Mysterium the one where it's like dreams and you have to give them cards of like art and they have to guess which?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the players is a ghost who's giving the other players visions, trying to get them to pick the person who murdered them and where they were killed and how they were killed, but it's cooperative, so it's fun.
Yeah. Personally, I don't know about you guys, but like, I really like being the ghost because it's a lot of fun to like try and figure out which card to give people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always it's funny, but it's hard when the person who is the ghost is not very creative. So like there's some really literal clues hidden in there. You have to know how they think.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's fun. Well, yeah, I guess since you guys were to chat before, I can just introduce myself real quick. So, Chris Bill, work at Salesforce. Been there for about 7 years now, and
Oh.
yeah, it's been too long. Last year I spoke
You've
at
seen some
Indie Design
change
Week.
then.
What's that? Sorry.
You've seen some change then.
Yeah, yeah. It's there's some folks that have been there like 15 years, which is pretty impressive. We'll see if I make it that long. I don't know.
Is your group gonna stay remote?
So, I think for the most part, like they're starting to open up some offices, mostly San Francisco offices, because that's where we're headquartered. Next month, the Indy one isn't scheduled to open for a couple months still. I think we've got to get like, Indy has to get better first.
Yeah.
But I think like, I was talking to the team about it and how they feel, and I think we might do like a day or two in office and, maybe take big meetings in the office, but we're all like pretty happy with this work from home, work in sweatpants thing still. So, what about you guys? Are you guys all still working remote indefinitely, or you in the office? Yeah.
I'm going in 1 day a week. I could go in all 5 days if I wanted to, but that's what I'm comfortable doing for right now.
Yeah, we've got people like just ad hoc going in once in a while.
Yeah.
But the office will open in December.
Oh yeah, you've got the new building going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where
Is
do you
that
work, Andy?
what's going to open in December?
SCP.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the building's looking, from what I've seen of it, it's look pretty awesome.
Mm.
And so I think most of the company's really excited about getting back together. That's like a big part of the culture and how the teams interact.
Yeah.
I think I could do like, if I could do like 2 days a week remote would be a really good balance.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually planning on after the pandemic, just because being able to work from home has definite benefits. Even though my commute's only like 20 minutes now to get to Zionsville instead of, 45 minutes to get downtown, find a parking space, and then walk from there to my desk.
Yeah, but it's still like, roll out of bed at 7:45, 8 o'clock. No one's gonna know, and open up the computer. I can't.
Well, I've heard, so I've only worked at SCP remotely, and I've heard there's a group of people that when everyone was together wouldn't roll into the office until like 10:30, which meant once they caught up on things, you couldn't really get any time with them until after lunch. But since we've been remote, they can just roll out of bed at 9 or 9:30 and be available.
Get more time with them, yeah. Yeah, we definitely had those people as well. It's interesting. There's like waves of people that come in. There's like the super early crew, and then there's like middle and then late. Yeah, it's funny.
We've got one guy at our office that I swear he must sleep there because no matter how early I get there, he's there. No matter how late I stay, he's still there.
Man, That's dedication. Caleb, where do you work?
I work at KSM Consulting, so I'm in the tower with you, just on the other side.
Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. And you guys still locked in at work from home only? Gotcha.
Yeah. Right before the pandemic hit, we were just about to open a new office location in Fishers. Like we were just about to start construction, and then it hit. So I think they got super lucky and they backed out of it at the right time, so they didn't have a big empty building for the whole pandemic. So they stroked out of luck there.
Dang.
But I think that there's still a whole lot of questions about when we're opening, how we're opening, and who's going where. So for the foreseeable future, we'll be home.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know about you, but they literally shut off our badges. So even if we wanted to get in, we could not. It was really locked out of the thing. Yeah.
We have not. I can get in. I've gone in a couple times for a small meeting, but super ad hoc. But I can get in, so that's crazy to lock you guys out.
Yeah, yeah. I had to go in and get all my stuff, and I had to call this specific number, and they were like, "You have a 2-hour window," and after that, you're locked out again. I was like, "Geez, man, I gotta book it."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was ridiculous because we have a large collection that we've just accumulated over the years of Nerf guns, so I just coming out of the tower with handfuls of Nerf guns. I was like, "Don't let me!"
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Well, what are y'all looking forward to for any design week?
Just meeting everybody, seeing what they have to say. This is my first time, so I don't really know what to expect.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There'll be quite a bit of this.
Yeah, it's definitely the interesting thing about Indie Design Week, and this is my first week on the board, so I get to see a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. It's when I think of a design conference and the ones I've been to, I think of an interaction or a UX, a design conference for our profession. But when we say design, it's way broader than that. Right?
Yes.
The last workshop I was in was fashion design, and there's architectural design, and it's really more of a celebration of all of the design facets in indie. So it's kind of cool to be able to get a whole view of it and network with folks and things like that. There's definitely still nuggets of information we as interaction designers can pick up, but it's a lot broader than that.
Mm-hmm. That and UX can get really drift away from any kind of art or humanistic component, and so I really like that about Design Week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Did you guys go over your pizza already? Okay, well.
We did a little bit. Andy confessed to liking pizza. Seems reasonable enough.
To liking pizza?
Yeah, I had to really break down and get vulnerable.
It's a controversial stance.
Yeah, the hard-hitting questions.
So how do you guys feel about pineapple on pizza? I know some people are that's the most disgusting thing ever, and I think in Iceland it's actually banned.
What?
Yeah,
I like pineapple on pizza.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I feel I don't know. From Iceland, it's not like they're growing pineapple either way. It's they can't get pineapple, so they're well, screw it, make it illegal.
I know, and it's a super progressive country too. But we're well, we'll promote a lot of things, but
it's aggressively
no, that's against the traditions of our people.
It's aggressively turning your nose up at it.
Oh, that's funny. Pineapple was the weirdest thing I've ever had on a pizza, so it shows you how adventurous I am.
Really?
Yeah.
It is the weirdest thing I've ever had on pizza.
I don't know that anything's really off limit for pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically bread. I mean, pesto is probably the most unusual thing I've had on it, simply because there's not that many places where you can get a pesto pizza. But it's good. Especially with chicken, as we talked about earlier, before Chris joined us.
Yeah, I think I've probably had fish on pizza, eggs. I don't know.
I don't think I've had eggs.
Oh,
I think I've seen capers and wondered heck.
Welcome back. Was everybody able? And there's Mark's camera.
Yeah,
There we go.
figured it out. I just had to reload the browser.
Awesome. Glad to have you all back here. So we can either, there's a couple options here. We can either go into like a direct Q&A if you have questions related to how the pizza is made, or I can dive right into that, or if anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to field them. Any preferences? All right. Let me dive back into the file here and let me share Figma.
I had a quick question for you. I saw you were renaming some of the components, and you renamed it with like a fancy pop-up modal. It looked really efficient.
Yes. So if you select multiple items, and let me actually do this. Let me change cameras, and I can actually turn on my shortcuts so you can see. 1 second. All right, so let's close that. Let's close that. Share screen. Make that full width. Screen 1. Turn this on. All right. So I still have the other camera on, but that's fine. So whatever shortcuts I hit now will appear down here at the bottom. So if you actually have multiple items selected and you just hit Command R if you're on a Mac, it pulls up this dialog that allows you to rename things based on certain queries. So if I wanted to, like I have mine and Sean's profile card, if I wanted to rename profile in that title to card, I can do that really quickly. And there's quite a few other key combinations that you can use if you go to this learn more area, it will provide those to you. But it's a really efficient tool to rename, whether you're just renaming 1 or 2 things or like 50, or heck, if you even go, let's say I wanted to pull up Simulator, which will open, let's say I wanted to select all of the cards. So if I go to, so Simulator allows you to select objects based on certain parameters. And let me see if I can select layer type, locked, masked, corner radius. Let's do that. So if I wanted to select things on this page that match the same corner radius, it might lock up my computer because there's quite a few. But yeah, it's gonna freeze up on me. But from that point, you can do the Command R or Control R if you're on a PC to rename everything. All right, so let's dive into, since we have a little bit left still, I wanted to walk you through how, just one way that these components were created. I created most of them from a single base component, which allows me to only edit one thing. Like if I wanted to change these pepperoni to be, let me copy that hex code. If I wanted to change them to lime green, you can see now that because I changed it in the base, that once this loads, let me find it here. Now all pepperonis here are green, which means that all pepperonis that everybody made on their pizzas are now green, which is definitely a questionable color for pepperoni. I'll go ahead and do that. And there we go. Sorry, what was that?
I said it was very festive, though.
So each of these components were created from the base, and then using that confetti plugin I used earlier just randomly distributes them, and then turning off individual pieces to get that round shape because I did start from a square every time. And once you have those as variants, and you have them as an instance like we did over on the assembly line, you can change shapes, you can change colors and everything from this variants panel on the right hand side. So yeah, I just did that quite a few times over, and that's when you get all your toppings. Let's see if there's any other questions. Happy to answer them, or I can. We can wrap up a little early. All right, cool. Well, I greatly appreciate y'all sticking around this whole time. If you have any feedback on the workshop, I will drop this hyperlink into the chat here, but I would love any feedback that you might have on this workshop, on the activity in general. Any feedback is greatly appreciated.
Actually, on that note, oh yeah, you already
Yeah.
dropped it. Sorry. Nope, you got it. I was like, I'm going to post in the link, but that's the exact link I was going to post. Actually, no, that's a different link now that I'm looking at. This link.
Oh, there's an actual one. Okay, I
This
didn't realize there was a
They both go to the same. So
official one.
just ignore me.
Okay.
I'm just losing my mind.
Cool. Well, I hope everybody has a great day. I'll hang out here for a little bit if anybody wants to chat still, but hope you enjoy the rest of Indie Design Week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.